All right, all right. We are back at the Grit Won't Quit podcast studio. We're doing one virtual today. We have the owner and co-founder of Home Frite, Ian, on today. Ian, good morning.
Good morning, Tom. How you doing?
Very good. Thanks for coming on today. I've known you for about a year now, thereabouts, through your franchisee Jerry and Perry and Fennel, and I've got to see your concept. I love your burger. I love the fries. So
Thank you.
kind of
Thank
tell
you.
us about what it is that you do, who you are, and let's get rolling right into this.
Yeah. My name's Ian Vernon. I graduated from Penn State, moved to New York back in 2007. And, I was a project manager in the city, watching all
Mm-hmm.
these restaurants be built. I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. And in 2013, I had the idea just to combine palm frites with home fries and really just bring French fries. That was the focus. So the brand is really anchored in French fries.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this was just a concept. And in order to bring it to life, I partnered with a really good friend of mine, Crystal Lingle, who co-founded the company with me, and together we really gained a following just off of our hand cut fries and dipping sauces. So we would come to markets, and just sell mountains of French fries
So where was
to
the first
crowds.
market that you set up the French fries at?
I was in Brooklyn, a market called Smorgasburg. It was
Okay.
wildly popular. We were, really able to start. It was kind of an incubator for small businesses. You didn't have to buy, you didn't have to rent a space, or it could be a temporary business. So it was easy for me to invest. I think I started the business with about $6,000 and invested that, made a website, made the brand. And once we were accepted into the market, that's when it became a reality. And we were able to incrementally save money each summer until we saved enough to open a restaurant in 2017. In the spring of 2017, we opened a restaurant in Bed-Stuy. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and from there, we just added, the classic American diner food that people really crave in the area, but there's no quality versions of it. So,
Okay.
we make a really great, grass-fed beef burger, fried chicken sandwiches. We have our own recipe for the veggie burger. We make milkshakes, and we just do everything from scratch. We make our own sauces, so we really want people to come and indulge. We're there for every single item on the menu is a crowd pleaser, and we just want people to be happy. So we
That's
make
awesome. So let's just go back. So 2013, you open this up and you're just doing the fries. And then, so for 3 years, you're just doing fries at and
yeah,
then,
3 years just fries and dipping sauces.
wow. And then it wasn't until you opened the restaurant did you add the burgers and the chicken sandwiches.
Yeah, correct. I mean, the whole idea was like I didn't inherently love. Well, I do love French fries, of course, but that it wasn't like I've been obsessed with them since I was younger. It was more
Mm-hmm.
that I saw that there was a really popular stand in the East Village, and I was like, I was living in Williamsburg at the time,
Okay.
which is a very similar neighborhood to the East Village. And I was like, okay, there's all these a high density of bars, and there's nothing but there's nothing but pizza and a taco truck. But the really popular French fry truck or French fry stand in the East Village called Palm Frites, there's nothing like that over here. And it's just that I was like, this could be low risk. It could be lower inventory, basically. So
Sure.
that's where it was born out of, sort of low inventory, trying to make something that was a higher margin, low inventory. And but from there, when we opened up a brick and mortar, we had to add, you know, we had to fill out the menu. So we do have a completely full menu, yet it's a low inventory. It's all made from, like I said, we make dipping sauces, but those same sauces go on the burgers and chicken
Hmm.
sandwiches,
So
the
you're very
salad.
smart about how to do this, so that you
Yeah.
don't have a lot of waste.
One of the takeaways from a brand like Chipotle that I really liked was their whole inventory is like 80, it's under 100 ingredients, and they make everything from that. So that's, and it's that way you have strength and buying power, and you also have faster rotation of your ingredients, fresher food. You don't want a million ingredients.
Now 2017, you open. You have the store in Bed-Stuy. We're in 2025 now, 8 years later, and you have multiple locations that are now some franchises. So, what made you decide that you wanted to go the franchise route after being in Bed-Stuy and having one
Yeah.
store?
Well, we wanted to expand. We've always wanted to expand. We knew we couldn't do it alone.
Hmm.
And franchising is a way that you can expand, you can bring other people on board. There's more of a system of a network to support each other. So we were really attracted to that, and we sort of the way that we designed the business from the beginning was something that could be compartmentalized and replicated, um, and with standard operating procedures, manuals, diagrams, and all of that. So um, that was the intent in the beginning, and we were able to do that over the pandemic. Our delivery doubled it more than doubled, and we were able to take a step back as owners and complete that system and work with a consultant to get it franchised. So we started franchising. We started offering this for franchising in 2022, and then since 2022 we've signed 7 units, and currently we have 3 units open. The fourth is about to open. Well, they're just waiting on their gas, so they're gonna, hopefully before Thanksgiving. And 5 and 6 are under construction, and the seventh doesn't have a lease yet.
Wow! And now you're in multiple states, right?
Yeah, it started out locally, but the investors of the first two locations, they have friends and family they have multiple businesses around the country,
Hmm.
and they really liked what we were doing. And so in North Carolina, we have the brother of one of the investors, in from Pomona, and yeah, so that's how we expanded along the East Coast. We've got a location in Pomona, New York, White Plains, New York, Staten Island, Brooklyn, New York, and then Delaware and North Carolina. Yeah, we're stretching out. We'd like to fill in between there,
Sure.
in the future as time goes.
So now, when you think about like North Carolina and Delaware and your current infrastructure, how does that impact your infrastructure? Because now you got to start thinking about, it's not as easy to get to North Carolina as it is to get to Pomona or to, White Plains.
Yeah, exactly. So luckily, actually, it's not a very expensive plane flight to go to Raleigh. It's less than $100. So, I'm confident, and that we'll be able to visit there often. We have a director of franchise operations besides myself and my partner Crystal. Between the three of us, with under 10 locations, we're confident that we're touching those locations, more than once a month. And we also do, separate from that, we do secret shopping. So one of us will swing by
To
and
make
place
sure
an incognito order, just to make sure that the quality is there.
yep.
We also have a 56-point quality control check that we do after we go to pick up that food. We just, we have a part of the franchise system. We check everything in the restaurant. Um, and that way there's a system to it. So if we come back, we say, hey, how come this, the toilet was loose last time, guys, and it's still loose this time. So
Yeah.
that's how we keep a record of those items.
And you have to keep everybody's standards up, because the weakest chain, the weakest link in that chain is going to hurt everybody.
Yeah, one picture. Oh, I'm not going to any of the locations. If they go in, just and it's a negative experience, or it's dirty or something like that. Certainly. So now it's really just my job is still a restaurateur, but at the same time managing the quality across all the locations is really the number one thing, because the training, the food, the system that we've set up, the recipes,
Hmm.
they're rock solid. People can follow them in lockstep. The number one thing that's my concern is people, because the whole business is really built on people. We have a great system, like I said, but it comes down to the people that you hire, and the people that are on your team, and the people that join with you, and how they represent the brand.
Sure.
That's the most important thing.
Understood. Now, seven systems signed. Uh, what's the next goal? Like, where do you want it? Where do you and Crystal want to see yourselves?
Our intention was to open 5 within the first 3 years. But of course, we weren't going to say no to unit 6 and 7. We're still renewing the franchise document, and we're still actively selling the franchise. However, our concern right now is developing those 7, not signing 17 more. So we really want to develop those. Like you touched earlier on the logistics of and how that's going to change um, into North Carolina. So those are the things that we are going to establish before, going to Connecticut or Texas or Florida. We're having discussions with people all the time,
Hmm.
but yeah, right now the main focus is developing those locations, and the ultimate end goal is to have 50 locations, before I retire, at least. So this is a system I'd love to set up that exists beyond myself. I've Crystal and I both grew up working in restaurants. We met we both worked in a pizza shop in college. But one of the things that I'm sure you've heard, family run restaurants, people are there all the time. Just like Crystal and I were for the first, 8 years of the business, we're there all the
Hmm.
time. But my belief was setting up a system like this was the only way to have some security, and not be reliant on just running from one location to a next and having that be your only livelihood. So we're able to keep the brand fund. We have a separate brand fund that we collect from the franchisees. So there's always going to be a presence online, regardless of which location is doing what. And we just have a larger network of people, and that's what we want as the brand grows.
Sure. And now, in that fast casual space, how do you feel? That in the current economic market we're in, how do you feel like you're faring? Because you see articles about. There was an article in this morning's Fortune about how McDonald's is losing their lower tier customers, and how with inflation and the job market, how do you see things going for you guys in
Yeah.
that fast casual space?
Our October this year was better than the October last year,
Okay, good.
slightly. So it's not going down for us, but there definitely is a need for value meals
Hmm.
and alike. We actually, we promote the fact that, hey, we're the same or cheaper than McDonald's now. So there was a point when we were more expensive than McDonald's, but at this point, we're able to sell a larger burger, fresh food, and it's real food.
Yeah.
Bigger fries with more flavor, bolder sauces, that aren't made with, all of these added ingredients. Man, so that's the value that we're bringing, and
Hmm.
so we're finding that people are gravitating towards that. Like, yes, McDonald's is losing their bottom tier customers, and they're coming to us, because if they're going to spend that much, at least they're going to get real food.
Absolutely. I mean, when you think about it, it's not even comparable. Your food to a McDonald's food. Uh,
Yeah,
it's apples and oranges. It's different. There's nothing similar about them.
yeah, yeah, and even Shake Shack, which is has a higher perceived value than McDonald's. We've matched their prices on almost every menu item, and some of them we beat. So yeah, we're just really trying to give people value because that's become the most important thing. Of course,
Yeah,
price.
it definitely seems like it right now in that market. That's where you got to be to kind of keep your share.
Yeah, our restaurant, we don't have a ton of seats in the front. It's largely a takeout restaurant with less than 10 seats in the front. So, and we find that a lot of people just want to take the food and go. And that's a model that is working well with any type of food right now. So that's, and we're able to basically offer a lower price point by not taking care of a huge dining room.
Yeah,
Um,
that's good.
and
Now,
that's,
how did the
that's
third
part of the
party?
model.
How are you doing with the third party apps with the Door Dashes and Grubhubs and
Yeah,
Uber
they're
Eats?
the models. Well, the laws change, you know, year to year. There, and we're constantly looking at what each of the platforms is charging us, and we have a system where we use some of their marketing, but we don't use all of their delivery.
Hmm.
So it creates a lower a marketplace fee or commission rate, and that's how we're able to manage it. But essentially, people are used to ordering from the channels that they normally order to. We always want to funnel people into our website and say, hey, get half off a burger. Come over to our website. For Uber Eats customers, for example, and that works to a degree. But I can tell you, it's always there's always customers who are just they're not going to switch. They're on Uber Eats for everything. So they're not, yeah. So it's hard to get people to switch their habits, but the that's the best we can do with those apps is try to convert people and bring them over to our website and take advantage of the promotions on the websites. The buy one get one free burger is something that really that really gets a lot of orders going on Uber Eats. So.
Hmm. And I think that people are used to what they're used to, and they're using it for other things. It's nice when you could pull them over because then you could direct market to them, and
Yes.
and again, it's better for you as the restaurant. It's better for them as the consumer. It's just I think a hard habit to break at this point.
It is. It is. And one of the things that we started doing recently is working with a company called First Delivery, who basically they're a third party intermediary. And
Hmm.
so the orders come in from all of the platforms, and they bid them out to the lowest bidding courier. Basically, there's like three different courier services that they have. And then from there, we can look at one dashboard and see the Uber deliveries, our website's deliveries, the DoorDash ones, and Grubhub. So
Which probably helps you from a financial perspective to understand, and a marketing perspective, where these orders are coming from too.
yeah, yeah. That way we can see a footprint, a live footprint of where our hot spots are, whether our customers are ordering from DoorDash, Uber Eats, or Grubhub. We can see like the localities that are the hottest.
Sure.
And that's where that's where we like to do mailers and things like
Yep.
that.
Yeah, if you see that, if you get that footprint, then you could do an EDDM right into that neighborhood, and you could see try to
Yeah,
turn more customers.
exactly. So yeah, the holidays are coming up. We're gonna be doing a big gift card push, and one of the days, probably Black Friday, I think we're gonna do 2 for 1 gift cards for that one day only,
Open
just
place in
try
New
to.
Jersey already. Come on.
Yeah. We're looking. I mean, we're going to be in the New Jersey Franchise Festival in February,
Cool.
or the trade show, I'm sorry.
Yep. I
So there's always a lot of interest in New Jersey. And we're anxious to open up in New Jersey, because
one of my guys was doing an EDDM for the Pomona store for back 6 months ago, and just due to the logistics of EDDM, we just drove it up there. And I said to him while he was there, I said to my guy, I said, "Get a burger while you're there, try it out." He came back, he goes, "Can we open a franchise?" I said, "We're in the marketing space. We're not in the restaurant space." But
Yeah,
he loved it. It was very good. So
great. I'm glad to hear it.
I mean, I think that there's nothing but open opportunity for you guys. I mean, yeah, it sounds like you have the systems in place. And it sounds like one thing that I think is different than some of these other franchise concepts is you're not looking to try to overgrow and have logistical nightmares and, build out nightmares. It's, you're
Yeah,
looking at a very,
exactly. I
very
mean,
slow build.
we're a young franchise company. We obviously are not as experienced as brands that have 50 units already. It's Crystal, myself, and Gino at this point. So we're being smart about it. The most um, important thing is to keep the entire brand evolving.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter to me how slowly that happens at this point, because I just want it to build a very strong, stable foundation. Because if the first couple units don't work, it's not going to work. So we're really intent on this, very hands-on owner team. Yeah, we love what we do. It's really it's honestly a blessing that we're able to do it. As many headaches as the business can bring, I can tell you that I sometimes have to stop and just be like, well, I'm lucky enough to be able to do this. It was just really just a small concept in the beginning, and now I have a family, I have two daughters, I have a wife, a house, and the business is going. It's built up, and it's not going to stop. That's
That's
it's
awesome.
it's
Now,
yeah, it's a
how
good
long was it
motivating.
before how long was it were you doing two jobs? Like when you were still being a project manager as well as
Uh, about a year. About a year.
okay,
Yeah, so yeah, in 2000, the end of 2014, I was like, I think I'm gonna, because at that time I did not have any kids. I was not married. I didn't have a house or a
a
mortgage
lot
or
less
anything like that.
responsibility.
Yeah. So I was like, well, it's now or never. Let's do it. And that was just, like I said, just part of just having, the desire to be an entrepreneur, and just see, what, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. At that time, it wasn't too much risk. Like I said, the Smorgasburg was sort of like an incubator. If it was seasonal. For the first 2 years, I didn't operate during the winter. We put
Hmm.
everything in storage unit. So there was lower risk in that. And today, I feel like a lot of those, what we did, even just now, today, it would be a bit harder. It would be a bit harder. Everything's more expensive. Insurance is more expensive. Yeah, fuel is more expensive.
Everything.
Ingredients, everything, and just we really were a grassroots built company. Crystal and I were working, full-time jobs, and then on the weekends we would go to a commissary. We would make the sauces ourselves. We would par cook the fries, package them, fall asleep at midnight, and then in the morning we would go to the markets and sell them all day. So it was an insane.
Pretty wild to like
Yeah,
that, where it's come from selling at the markets to having 7 units.
yeah. It is. It really is, and it's a testament to the hard work of Crystal and myself, and the team and the people that we surround ourselves with. Yeah, so we're really we're honored to be here. I'm happy to have met you, and this this is proof that, through growth, we're meeting great franchise operators
Yep.
who are connected with other teams of people, and that's how you and I met. So,
That's how we got connected. But this is great. I love the story, and I can't wait to see it continue to expand. I'm so happy for you guys.
yeah, it's been a great ride so far, and we can't wait to keep growing.
So as we wrap up today, let people know where they can find you online, if it's your website, if it's your social medias, just so anybody that's interested in learning more about the brand to come have a burger and fries, or somebody that might be interested in a potential franchise, where's the best place that they could find you?
Yeah, just go right to www.homefrite.com, and there's a link in the menu if you want to go to the franchising site from there. And we also have our food menu. All the locations are right there. So homefrite.com.
Homefrite.com. Well, it was great to have you on today. It was great to see you, and I look forward to hearing continued success. And this is great. That was a great podcast.
Yeah, thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me on. I really
You
appreciate it.
bet.